3 out of 4 roommates in our house have slept with my friend's new virgin boyfriend, and now we're stuck wondering if we should say something or just let this wild situation play out. I, 21F, live in a house shared with 3 other girls, me, Sally, Holly, and Lisa. Sally, Holly and I went to school together. Holly and I were, and are, fairly close, and Lisa is her cousin who I've known for years. Sally, 21F, is someone we've always known and got along well with, but isn't really a great friend. She needed a place to live and we needed a roommate. While we all kinda run in different circles, everyone knows everyone where we live. So while I wouldn't hang out with the same small group as Lisa or Sally, we end up at the same parties and know the same people. Anyway, recently Sally had been dating a guy, 20s male, but we haven't met him. She's kind of embarrassed about her past boyfriends, one was abusive, one cheated on her, so we didn't pry. Also she has a tendency to be dramatic as heck, which can get exhausting if you get sucked in, so we tend to stay out of her business a lot. He has a fairly generic name, we'll call him Tom. She's been dating Tom for 4 months now, but they hadn't made love. Until last night. Holly, Sally and me have a WhatsApp group for the 3 of us. Lisa isn't in it, I think because Sally started the group and those 2 aren't close at all. She messaged us last night to mention she was having a friend round, wink nudge, and to ask if we were okay with it. We were both at a bar and said great, go for it. Happy times. In the morning we receive a message on the same group saying guys, Tom and I lost our virginities to each other last night. I'm so happy. Followed by a biblical arc's worth of emojis. Now I'm sat here baffled by this message when Holly knocks on the bedroom door and comes in, and asks me how on earth Sally has managed to lose her virginity twice. Sally is a Christian. Very devout when you ask her about her religion, but not that great in practice. This has nothing to do with any of us girls, so we don't care. But this was kind of weird. We were a little dumbfounded but went downstairs and made coffee. A couple hours later, we hear Sally walk downstairs and a guy's voice in the background. They pop their heads in as Sally says, hi guys, this is Tom. He quickly says hello and then leaves. The issue is, I've made love with this guy before. Sally sits down and we ask her about the virginity thing, in a friendly way. She tells us no, because she is Christian she is a virgin, because the past boyfriends treated her so badly that she had cleansed her life of them and is a virgin again. We're apparently also ignoring the several one-night stands I've overheard through my bedroom ceiling, so we ask if she's told Tom that she's a virgin. She says yes because I am. And he's a virgin too, so I thought it would sound better. I've dealt with her denial issues before but this is quite a new level. Sally leaves and I quickly turn to Holly and tell her I've slept with him. As I mentioned before, Holly and I are close, but we know a lot of the same people. Holly tells me that she's been to a party with him also and Lisa slept with Tom at that party. So what do I do? At first I felt bad for the guy for being lied to about Sally's virginity, but now he's doing the same thing? And the fact that 75% of our house has slept with him is a little icky. Do we tell her? Do we tell him? Do we leave them to it? Do we get Tom to sleep with Holly so she doesn't feel left out? Update, 5 days later. Hi everyone. I think anyone that read the original post guessed it wouldn't be long before I had an update, but even I didn't think it'd be this quick. Anyway, buckle up. So since Sally lost her virginity, I'm rolling my eyes just typing it, Tom has stayed round basically every night. This is fine with all of us, even if a bit awkward. There's sort of an unspoken rule in our house that boyfriends are allowed round whenever without anyone needing to clear it first. If we see each other in the day, it's courtesy to mention, oh by the way, boyfriend is coming round later today, but no one has an issue if it's not brought up prior to the visit. They're not sleeping in any communal areas, and we have enough bathrooms that shower time is never an issue. So Tom has been in the house most evenings but we've barely seen him. They're still in the weird love-making stage of their relationship where they only leave the bedroom for snacks and Powerade and to wash their sheets, I hope, so it's not like anyone's avoiding anyone. So 2 days ago Tom must have been at work, because Sally was alone in the house eating lunch. Holly and I were on our way out, about to go shopping, when Sally asked if she could tag along. We said sure, we were just going to get shampoo and toiletries, but she said that was fine because she only needed to get one specific thing. When we got to the mall, Holly went to get an eye test, she'd been due one a while, and I was planning on just browsing for some work clothes. But Sally grabbed my arm and said you have to help me. While giggling, and dragged me into a store. Guys. She made me go to a lingerie shop and find a sexy nun costume with her. I felt like a deer in headlights when you're paralyzed with fear, except instead of fear it's just inappropriateness and discomfort. I just stood there nodding and fighting the urges to laugh hysterically and cry simultaneously at looking for an escape route when she weighed the pros and cons of different Catholic-themed naughty outfits. I got home, popped a straw in a bottle of wine and told Holly about my traumatizing experience. She howled. Moving on to today. About 30 minutes ago actually. Sally had a really early start at work, stock check or something, and had to leave before Tom woke up. While I was eating breakfast he walked into the kitchen and looked pretty shocked to see me. We said hi awkwardly, made niceties about the weather and asked each other about school and work. I assumed that would be it, but he addressed the elephant in the room. Tom, hey, I don't want this to be awkward about us hooking up in the past. I haven't told Sally. I don't know if you were planning on telling her. Me, I wasn't planning on it. No. That's your business. Tom, okay, great. It's just I'm worried she'll freak out, but I don't want to lie to her. Okay, this next bit kind of slipped out because I'm not really a morning person, and I've had to listen to the faint sounds of creepy religious honeymoon banging for 4 days now. Me, well, maybe telling her you're a virgin wasn't the best idea then. Tom laughs and then says, huh, what? Well, he never told her he was a virgin. I don't know if she made it up in her head or she really believes it or she knows everything, but Tom assured me he had never told her he was a virgin. It was all okay, he assumed I'd heard Sally wrong. Then he said something along the lines of Sally being a virgin and maybe she was ashamed, and I tried so hard not to make any kind of facial expression but, again, mornings are not my happy place, and it must have shown. Tom asked me if Sally really was a virgin and I just mumbled, you should talk to her about it and, I don't actually know, because in my defense I've never seen her be penetrated, but it's a pretty bullcrap defense, so sorry Tom, my bad, I panicked. He said goodbye to me and walked off, furiously texting. So yeah, I'll be updating this over the next few hours probably. Edit, just woke up to enough emojis that my phone nearly imploded. They're from Sally as you can guess. They're in the WhatsApp group with Holly and are mostly crying face and dead face, a few bow and arrows followed by hearts, and a couple boy emoji next to the knife and fork emoji. Not entirely sure what that's about. I can't seem to find a fan emoji to put the poop one next to, but you get the idea. Not sure if Sally's at home at the moment or not, she wasn't meant to be working late and I don't remember hearing her come home. I'm gonna pop in and see if Holly's awake and then possibly barricade her door shut. Edit number 2, I've been sat in Holly's bed for the last hour, while she's been reading both my posts and all your comments. She's loving the replies by the way, and is refusing to be called anything but madam now. Also anyone who private messaged me to ask if we're lesbians, sorry no. We ran upstairs to see if Sally was in her room. The door is locked so we think she's asleep in there, but she isn't answering any WhatsApps. Just chilling in the calm before the storm, practicing some sweet judo moves in case anything kicks off. I'm kidding, it won't. Edit number 3, okay I shit you not, we've just had the police at the door. Sally was apparently caught trying to break into Tom's house after he told her to leave him alone and threatened to call the police. Except he hadn't threatened, he'd done it. She resisted arrest and was popped in a nice little cell at about 2 a.m. She looks exhausted, bless her, but I guess a day's stalking will do that to you. She looks really sad and I feel so bad for her. Holly's running her a bath now and I'm going to make some tea. I don't know what happened between them but it looks like it fell on the not so chill side of the scale. Edit number 4, okay guys, here we go. Update time. Sally's asleep in bed and a lot has gone on in the last hour or so. Safety belts on, hands and feet in the cart at all times. Holly is here with me, she might pitch in every now and then. In fairness, Dance Moms is on at the moment, and she's done with this shit for today, so she might not be super involved. So the police dropped Sally off at home. They asked to have a quick chat with me about what happened, probably a good idea, because Sally's version was ever so slightly different, sigh, while Holly took Sally upstairs to get changed and whatever else she needed to do. The officer, who was super fine, not gonna lie, maybe he can do the rounds after Tom has left, told me that Tom called the police at 1 a.m., because Sally was harassing him over the phone and throwing rocks at his window. By the time they got there Tom had rang 3 more times, and Sally was climbing up a fence and shimmying over onto the kitchen roof, some freaking Batman crap right there. They tried to talk her down, where she was screaming and crying, they thought she might be on some sort of drugs, but I told them it's just her personality and a bit of caffeine usually. I laughed, he didn't. I'm glad you guys think I'm funny. Anyway, she tried to struggle when they restrained her and went to kick one of the officers, and at that point they were done being sympathetic, and popped her in the police car and into a cell. She's absolutely tiny so they didn't have to use force or anything, she's fine I promise. They asked us to contact her parents, because she refused to give them any contact details for her family, she would only tell them her address that she lives at with us. And guess who's off work this week so gets to play babysitter? Fan-freaking-tastic. Once they left, we got her in the bath and Holly and I sat on the bathroom floor talking to her about what happened. She was just crying into the bath and looked so sad and vulnerable, and I felt really awful for mocking her on this sub and stuff. Then she started explaining. We asked what happened. Sally said Tom texted her while she was at work saying we need to talk after work and she immediately panicked, because it's Sally. She blew up his phone. She didn't tell me this, she said she left him 3 missed calls, but she showed me her phone and the call log showed nearly 40. She then said he was such a jerk because he didn't message her to tell her he was okay, while she was worried thinking he could be dead. How Sally? How could he be dead if he texted you? My sympathy was now waning a little, but I was trying to be supportive. Once Sally finished work, she managed to get through to Tom on the phone. He told her that he had to confess and he wasn't a virgin, and didn't want to corrupt her innocence so he had to let her go. At this point Holly took in a really deep breath, stood up and muttered something about needing more coffee, and walked out. I sort of asked Sally if she was sure that's what he said, because it didn't make sense, and she nodded really aggressively, calling him a bastard for tricking her. I was trying to be gentle, rather than just calling her out on her bull crap, because she hadn't slept and she was an emotional mess, so I asked why she didn't just tell Tom that she wasn't a real virgin. That was a mistake. She started crying and yelling about being a virgin again, Thanks for that phrase, whoever coined it in the first post, and how her virginity is her decision. Holly walked in with coffees and teas and Sally calmed down. She gave Sally her tea and gave me a coffee. I looked at her. I don't drink coffee and Holly knows this, and she just raised her eyebrows and nodded. I took a sip and it was mostly whiskey. Gotta love the girl. We asked Sally why she went to Tom's house. She said he invited her over to talk about them and work it out. My acute critical thinking skills tell me this is bull crap. Sally said he didn't answer the door and she got concerned that he, once again, could be dead. Tom is clearly accident prone as heck, and she needed to check he was okay. Hence the climbing. Because even though he's an asshole and she hates him, she still cares about him, and needed to know he was alright. She finished work sometime between 4 and 6 p.m., that's her usual shifts, and was arrested at 2 a.m. so I have no idea what she did during those hours. Probably built a lair with a map with lots of strings attached to photos with thumbtacks and newspaper cuttings stuck on the wall. It doesn't seem like we'll be getting a very clear picture of what actually happened from Sally, but you can piece a lot of bits together and figure she just went all girl interrupted on him. Oh, and at least 2 times in the conversation she mentioned she was worried she could be pregnant. Again, I'm bargaining on this being hysterical lack of sleep bull crap. So Sally is asleep now, and Holly and I are day drinking. Everything has gone swimmingly. Lisa is away for the next couple days and is blissfully ignorant to everything that's gone on. 2 out of 10. Would not do again. Final update, probably. So Sally slept for about 24 hours, I'm not even kidding. She went to sleep, woke up briefly to raid the fridge, and then went back to sleep. She has a blurry recollection of what happened, and doesn't really remember the bath or telling me what happened. I joked that at least she didn't remember me molesting her, which she laughed at, so she's getting back to herself a bit. This morning I sat her down and asked what was going on. She told me that school has been getting really on top of her, especially with work too and going to all her church meetings and volunteering. I kind of wanted to say, well, screw church. But I feel like that's a thing you don't say. And she got some Adderall, I'm assumed Adderall. She just said they were study pills, from a couple guys at school to keep her awake to finish essays. But as it always is with delicious Adderall, people tend to take it a little too far. Not to get all after school special and preachy, but guys, if school is so hard you need to take drugs, maybe we should put ourselves first and become strips. Anyway, Sally's little pick-me-ups became a regular thing, and none of us noticed because we all get a little caffeine dependent during the school year, and she had a pretty screechy voice to begin with. She apologized for going loco and I apologized for being a crappy roommate and not noticing she was crazy. We did a ceremonious flushing of the pills down our least used toilet. PSA, that stuff doesn't flush super easily. It was humiliating. I had to claw like 3 of them out of the bowl because they must have gotten fused to the ceramic and I couldn't let Sally do it in case she went all train spotting and shoved them up her butt. It really ruined the moment, and now it's probably going to be our never used toilet because I managed to drop the bag in, and I think it messed up the system because it's blocked. We have a meeting next week with someone at school, I guess a counselor? I didn't speak directly with her on the phone, who's going to talk about healthy ways of dealing with stress. It was just going to be Sally going, but she was nervous so I said I'd go too, and it can't really hurt to know how to calm myself down in a way that isn't alcohol. I asked Sally if she was going to talk her parents about this, but she said no, because as I mentioned in some comments, they're very religious and their suggestion would be pray more. I have their number though, I'll use it if I need to. I asked Sally if she was pregnant and her eyes widened and she looked baffled. She actually said no? Are you? So we can equate that to mild psychosis and crazy beachness, we've all been there. She also asked me if she thinks Tom would ever speak to her again and I just hugged her and started laughing so she hit me and went really red. Sorry honey, if he comes back after that, you don't want him. So for now, we are back to normal. I think. Sally is still a little crazy, but in the constantly hormonal kind of way. Holly and I haven't had a drink yet today, and Lisa is still fucking oblivious to all of this. She probably won't care. She genuinely doesn't like drama. I'd love to start a blog about us, as many of you have requested, but I'm pretty sure it'd never be as interesting as these posts. Relevant comments. Commenter number 1, so is Tom super hot? Are you guys in a smallish town? Trying to figure out the odds of 3 women in the same house sleeping with the same guy and not knowing. OP, he is very good looking, but it's also a small town. Basically everyone our age around here goes to the same bars and parties, so you're bound to know someone who knows someone. Commenter number 2, OP, I think this may be my favorite relationships post ever. It might not actually be appropriate to ask Tom for his side, but damn I'd like to know how it went down according to him. The poor man needs a bottle of booze for having to deal with her, so do you and Madam Holly. I doubt she will listen if you tell her, but Sally should seek therapy, outside her church. Part of me really hopes there's another update. But, for the sake of all involved, I also hope there's no more drama. OP, trust me I'd love to know too, because I feel like it would be vastly different from Sally's story. But we'll probably never know, unless I bump into Tom at a bar in the future. I'll be sure to update if I do. Once Sally is calm in a couple days I'll have a talk with her about all this, because let's face it, it was a bit much. I don't think her parents will be much help, they're nice but they're kind of the sort of people who think you pray all your problems away. Commenter number 3, Virginity is so self-evidently a social construct when you believe you can regain your imaginary virginity in order to imaginarily lose it again. None of this makes any sense to me. OP, it doesn't make sense to anyone.